FM News Talk 97.1.
On-demand audio.
Right now, the guest that we've been waiting for, I'm really excited about what he's doing here in St. Louis, and I'm a huge fan of everything that he's done. Gary Sinise is with the Lieutenant Dan Band, and he's going to be in St. Louis. You know him as the star of CSI New York, Forrest Gump, a ton of other things, and he's working to put on a concert with the Lieutenant Dan Band to benefit Corporal Todd Nicely, who was severely injured in Afghanistan, and Gary joins us on the phone right now. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, thanks for doing what you're doing in the area and everything that you've done for our troops. I know that you do so much. You do with the USO, and you go and entertain our men and women in uniform. Tell me a little bit about what caught your attention about Corporal Nicely's situation and why you felt just called to get involved.
Well, Todd was injured in Afghanistan. He lost both his arms and both his legs. Unfortunately, he was not the only one. We were involved in an effort in New York and Staten Island to build the first surviving quadruple amputee, Brendan Morocco, a specially designed home. Brendan came in injured in April of last year, and he...
Right.
We decided that I was going to team up with some firefighter pals in the New York City area where Brendan is from to build him a home. And when we were deciding that, unfortunately, a second quadruple amputee came in injured, surviving that injury, and that was Corporal Todd Nicely. And so I said to the guys in New York, I said, guess what? We can't just build one house. We got to build another one. And unfortunately, then a third quadruple amputee came in, Corporal John Peck. So we're building three houses for these three guys who have lost both their arms and both their legs. The second house is Corporal Todd Nicely's, and he wants to live in the St. Louis area where he's from. So we've teamed up with local firefighters in the St. Louis area and local business folks, and I'm donating my band to raise money on May 27th at the St. Charles Family Arena to build Corporal Todd Nicely a specially designed home. Obviously, he's going to have special needs, and these homes are designed specifically to accommodate those needs.
Well, this is fantastic, and I know that you're also working with the Stephen Siller Tunnel to Towers Foundation in order to do this. And again, folks, the concert's May 27th at 7:30 at the St. Charles Family Arena, and you can get all your tickets through MetroTix, metrotix.com. You have traveled extensively for our men and women in uniform with the USO. How long have you been doing this? Because I remember all of a sudden I started seeing you pop up everywhere, and in addition to all of the work that you do with television and film, I can't imagine what your schedule is like.
Well, I've been doing it a while. I got involved with veterans groups back in the early 80s. I grew up in Chicago and started a theater company there, and years ago I was working with Vietnam veterans groups. I have Vietnam veterans in my family on my wife's side of the family. Her two brothers were in Vietnam. Her sister was in the Army and married a Vietnam veteran who was in the Army for 24 years. I knew very well what had happened to our Vietnam veterans when they came home from war, and then I ended up playing one in Forrest Gump, and playing a disabled veteran, so I got involved with the Disabled American Veterans Organization. There's 3 million disabled veterans in our country. And the DAV, the Disabled American Veterans, has about 1.5 million members. And I got involved with them back at the time that I did Forrest Gump, and then September 11th came along, and we started deploying our troops, and they started getting hurt and killed, and their families started struggling and suffering, and everything. I just couldn't sit back and do nothing, so I got very involved with the USO. And what can an actor do? You go out and take pictures and sign autographs and that kind of thing. But I had some musicians I played with, and so I talked the USO into letting me take them with me and to entertain the troops. And that's what I started doing back in 2002, 2003. And since then, we've been all over the world multiple times and all over this country on bases all across the country. And we do various things with the band, with charitable efforts. I'm not trying to make money off the band. I make my living as an actor, and the band is simply part of a mission to support the troops and families and first responders and people that sacrifice for us.
Well, that's amazing that you do that, and I just it's really inspiring to hear you tell about how you really serve your community, how you serve our men and women in uniform, and how you have been able to use your notoriety and everything that you've worked for with television and film, and just to really bring attention to people who need it, people who've served our country, and they've really sacrificed all. And this is an amazing thing that you're doing for them, and just God bless you for it, and we're so appreciative. And again, this is May 27th, 7:30, the Lieutenant Dan Band, Gary Sinise, St. Charles Family Arena, and you can log on to 971talk.com/Dan Band to get more information. Gary Sinise, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Come on out and see us.
Absolutely, I plan to. I'm stoked about it. I wouldn't
miss it.
You
better be there.
I'm going to be there. Thanks so much, Gary.
Thank you.
Take care.